YouTubes, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be probably the easiest makeup tutorial ever done on my channel, but it was requested. I had mentioned it in my previous video, or one of my previous videos, on my updated everyday makeup look. I did post one a while back, but it's kind of changed since then just because I feel like I'm more in a rush whenever I'm going to work and whatnot. So I kind of came up with this super simple everyday look using zero foundation, none whatsoever. Now, this is not practical for everyone, and that is perfectly okay. This is just what works for me and what I found that saves me the most time. Before we get started, of course, there's going to be steps in this that can most definitely be eliminated, and I'm aware of that. So this is the kind of makeup I would normally wear every day to work. So after I've washed my face in the mornings, I'll go in with my Cetaphil Oil Control Moisturizer. This is my absolute favorite moisturizer to use under my makeup. For one, it has SPF 30 in it, so you don't have to worry about that. And it has that oil control factor in there that really, I think it really does help control my oils throughout the day. And since I'm not wearing a foundation or anything like that, I definitely don't want my oils like seeping up, you know, looking all nasty and whatnot. I'm going to be wearing 2 primers today, and yes, I know that's extra because we're not wearing foundation, but I'm going to be putting the mattifying one in my T-zone just to control those oils throughout the day, and then I'm going to be using the pore filler in my problematic areas here beside my nose, just because the product that I am putting on my skin, I still don't want my pores to be seeping through. So I just take a tiny bit of this and rub it between my 2 first fingers and just pat that into my pores. And then the same with the other primer, just a very little bit, because like I said, since we're not doing foundation or anything extreme today, I don't need a thick layer of primer, and I don't need it all over my face either. I will just kind of pat this into the skin, and then whatever's left over on my fingers, I'll just like gently run down my face, even though it's not really necessary. First thing that I like to do is go ahead and cover up these dark circles here, and for that I'm going to be taking my Bye Bye Undereye. This is in the shade medium, and if y'all have ever tried this, you know a little goes a long way. Like literally, that's all the product that I'm going to use, and I just pat it underneath my eyes. Then I'm going to take the e.l.f. concealer brush and just continue to pat that and work that into the skin. And you want a thin layer. Again, we're not going to be wearing foundation, but I find that if I just put on concealer, it doesn't necessarily cover the redness. Now, I know this is a natural look, but I still don't want my red splotchiness in here to show. So I go in with a green concealer first, and just a very light amount. I even like wipe off some of the product onto here because I don't want a lot. And I'll just put like 1 line here, and then a little tiny bit on my chin, and a tiny bit on my forehead and the tip of my nose, which is the only real places that I have redness. And then I'm going to go in with any concealer. My favorite one is the e.l.f. HD Lifting Concealer. And yes, most of these products that I use on a daily basis are drugstore. Actually, every single one of them except for the Bye Bye Undereye, just because I'm wearing this every single day, and that's a lot of makeup. And I'm literally going to work. I come home and wash it off. So to me, I don't want to be wasting on my high-end makeup. So I will just take this concealer and put it directly over where you put that green. And then I do take a brush for this instead of a beauty blender, and I'm just going to pat that into the skin and kind of disperse it just a little bit. Just as I'm pushing into the skin, I'll kind of drag it back just a little bit, just so there's no like unevenness, just in case the concealer is not 100% the same color as your skin tone. And I have a lot of redness right in here around my nose, so that's mainly where I'm focusing the product. I'll go in with any lighter concealer. This is the Ulta Full coverage concealer in the shade Light and just put a tiny bit on my eyelids because I have super, super dark eyelids naturally, and I just don't really prefer that. So I'll take this just to cover up that discoloration. To set down that concealer on the eyes, I'm going to be taking the Ulta eyeshadow in the shade Bone. And if y'all have been watching me for a while, you know this shade is my life. I'm obsessed with it. I use it every single day because it's a perfect skin tone color, so it just really sets down that concealer. But it doesn't look like you're wearing eyeshadow because I don't want that for an everyday look. To set my under eyes, I'm just going to be taking the e.l.f. Perfect Finish HD powder. And it's just a translucent powder, and I'm just going to be putting this underneath my eyes. Now, some days, if my dark circles are really, really bad and I have to cake on a lot of concealer under there, I will bake that area and that area only, just so that my under eyes don't crease. But on a normal basis, I can get away with just setting it with a powder like this. And I'll just take a fluffy brush with a little bit more of this and just kind of go over the whole face, just so everything is mattified and set down. Now for brows, sometimes honestly, I just leave them like this and I'll throw a clear brow gel on them. But sometimes I want them to at least be a little bit defined. My favorite tool is the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer in the shade Dark Brunette. And all I do if I touch my brows is I'll just take this and outline the bottom, and then I'll just kind of brush it up through the brow. And then at the front, I'll take a lighter shade of this and just kind of make just barely little hair strokes there. And then I'll just put a clear brow gel and they look perfectly fine, and I barely spent any time on them. And then I also have the definer in the shade Brunette, and I just only use this in the front. So I'm going to add a little bit of bronzer. I'm going to be taking the Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil bronzer just because my face is kind of one-dimensional at the moment. I'm just going to add a tiny bit of color. I'll set down my brows real quick with my Essence Lash and Brow Gel. And this just to help them kind of look polished or maintained throughout the day, even though we didn't really do much to them. Then I will curl my lashes just because I really like the effect that it gives, kind of the no makeup for the lashes to be super curled. I don't wear falsies or anything like that, but I do like to curl my natural lashes. And then I'll just throw on a coat of my Colossal Big Shot Mascara. Actually, I'll throw on a couple coats of that. So I do only put mascara on the top lashes just because my bottom lashes are like super, super long, and I find that if I put mascara on them, it just makes it look like really dramatic. And for this kind of look, like, I don't want it to be dramatic. I want it to look more natural. So I don't put mascara on the bottom lashes. And the last thing is chapstick. I don't ever wear lipstick or lip gloss. It's always chapstick. I'm a chapstick kind of girl. I love it. This is my favorite one. It's the Burts Bees Vanilla Bean Moisturizing Lip Balm. It is my favorite because it gives your lips a little bit of shine, but it's also very nourishing, and I find that it really does help with dry lips. And the last thing that I'm going to do, which I mentioned this product in my favorites, it's the e.l.f. Mineral Mist. I just love, it doesn't claim to be a makeup setting spray, but I love to spray my face with this after I've done this makeup look. So I use this pretty much every single day. You know, sometimes your girl forgets, but most days I use this, and I just love the way it makes my skin feel, and it kind of brings a little bit of life to it. Like after we've put on the powders and the bronzers and everything, it can sort of make your face look a little powdery, even though we didn't put like a full face of foundation on or anything. So I just like to spray this to make it a little bit more lively. Sometimes I go a little overboard, but you know, it's fine. That is my everyday makeup look. Like I said, it is super, super simple, but I hope you guys did enjoy it. Of course, you can add steps, take away steps, whatever it is for your preference. You don't even have to wear makeup because trust me, I do that plenty of times. And honestly, this is basically how I go to work every single day. Hair in a bun on top of my head or in braids, something that is simple because my life is just messy, and I'm on the go all the time. I don't have time to stop and fix my hair or, you know, put on a full face every day, and that's okay. So I hope that you guys did enjoy this video. If you have any other video requests or comments that you would like to see, definitely leave those in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.